May I inquire, Your Honor?
Certainly, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury who you're currently employed by?
The Shelton Police Department.
And how long have you been employed by the Shelton Police Department?
A few months shy of 25 years.
And what's your current title?
Right now, I'm a patrol sergeant.
And did you have to go through any training to be a police officer?
Yes, I was hired in 2000 where I went to the police academy. After graduating, I went to patrol. In 2010, I was promoted to detective, where I served in the Detective Bureau for 14 years until I was promoted to sergeant.
And what kind of things did you investigate? What kind of crimes did you investigate in the Detective Bureau?
In the Detective Bureau, mostly felonies, for the most part. Things a little bit beyond what patrol can handle.
I want to direct your attention to May 15th of 2022. Were you working for the Shelton Police Department on that day?
Yes,
In what capacity?
I was a detective.
And as a detective in the Shelton Police Department, are you on call 24 hours a day?
Yes,
And did you have an occasion to be called to 43 Laurel Glen on that day?
yes.
And can you please describe the circumstances surrounding your responding to 43 Laurel Glen?
I got a call a little after midnight. I believe it was the 15th of May. I got a call a little after midnight. I was asked to respond to 43 Laurel Glen. I was told that 4 persons were stabbed, 1 potentially fatal. I did respond off duty. Upon arrival, I was briefed by the patrol sergeant of what occurred. It was a very hectic scene. There was dozens of juveniles, party attendees running around. The yard was already cordoned off with police tape. There was clothing and random items scattered across the yard. There was also patrolmen guarding the yard to make sure that that area stayed secured.
Now, I want to direct your attention to States 1 that's behind you. Is that the, you see the house with the red circle on it? Is that the area that you responded to on May 15th of 2022?
Yes.
And what time did you arrive at the scene?
I can't give you the exact time. It was somewhere shortly after midnight, maybe 12:30, so I got a call right at around midnight.
And showing you States Exhibit 2. Is that the home that you responded to on May 15th of 2022?
Yes.
And what were the lighting conditions like that night?
It was dark. It was dark in the yard. The most of the light that we had was illuminated through what we illuminated.
Was it pitch black, though?
Not pitch black.
Could you see
Yes,
somewhat?
yes, yes.
Show you States Exhibit 5. You had mentioned just now in your testimony that when you arrived, there was some debris in the yard.
Yes,
Is this the debris you were referring to?
yes.
Okay. And who taped off the yard?
That was cordoned off before I arrived.
Okay. Why would the Shelton Police Department tape off a certain section of an area? What would be the purpose of that?
Well, those items there is potential evidence, so to cordon it off, we don't want all the witnesses or the attendees to walk through it and trample the evidence.
And when you got to the scene, what was your main purpose when you got to the scene initially?
After finding out what occurred, or what the other Shelton Police Department members found out, I was trying to locate witnesses of what occurred.
Now, with regards to the items of, you determined those to be evidentiary value potentially?
Yes.
Do you know if those items were seized from the lawn?
Yes, they were. So the night of photographs were taken where they lied in the dark. They stayed that way till morning until Detective Nugent arrived to assist me. He took daytime photos, and after taking the daytime photos, he seized everything in the yard.
Your Honor, may I have a moment, please?
Sorry.
Yeah, I can. All right. If there's no objection, I would offer these as full exhibits at this time. It's
No
not subject
objection,
to
Your Honor.
questioning.
Oh, okay, so let me just take a look at them and refer to them, please. I have 21, is that, what number is this? 22, okay. So I'll just note for the record that States Exhibits 21 through 29 have been shown to Defense Counsel. Defense Counsel has no objection at this time to these particular exhibits being marked as evidence as for ID only, counsel, or for full?
No, Your Honor, it's full.
Well, all right, court will take the exhibits in as full exhibits at this time then.
Thank you.
Are they marked appropriately?
I believe they're marked full.
All right, so let's get them marked as full and then we'll move forward. Thank you.
Sergeant Bango, with regards to the pictures that, that were taken in this case, specifically, Stage 5, did you take these pictures?
I did not.
And what would be the purpose in taking pictures of the scene when you go to a scene?
Illustrate where everything was before it was seized.
And do you have information as to whether or not the items that were on the front lawn were in fact subsequently seized, subsequently to this picture being taken?
It was seized that morning.
Okay, so the pictures were taken, then it was seized?
Yes, pictures
Okay.
were taken first.
And when items of evidentiary value are seized by the Shelton Police Department, can you just speak to what is done to, I guess, establish some type of chain of custody,
custody.
and how you take it into evidence?
So we would first take a photograph of where it lies undisturbed. Like I said, it was protected all night. After they're photographed, they would be, you'd put gloves on and you would put them in an evidence bag and seal it. You would date and time, exactly what time you seized it, and then you would enter it into evidence at the police department.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 21. It's been marked as a full exhibit. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And what is Stage 21?
That's a shirt that was seized in the yard that morning.
And obviously, this is a picture of what was seized, not at the yard. This picture wasn't taken at the yard, right?
That picture was not, no, I'm sorry. That was taken after the fact at the police department.
Okay. My approach, Your Honor.
Sorry.
Showing you States 22. Do you recognize States 22?
I do.
And what is States 22?
That's the shirt that's illustrated in the picture.
And this was the shirt that was seized from the front yard of 43 Laurel Glen on May 15th of 2022?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, I would ask if it's appropriate, if the Honor would allow the witness to open the bag and reveal its contents.
All right, sir, you can open the bag, reveal the contents. I do see that you have gloves available for your use, so that's fine. If you feel comfortable, go right ahead.
Now, with regards to this particular piece of evidence, that was seized from the front of 43 Laurel Glen, why was this seized? Is there anything on this piece of evidence that would indicate some type of disruption in the fabric?
Yes, there's a defect in the shirt.
Counsel, are you able to see?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can feel free to relocate if you want.
Thank you.
In the shirt in the lower left side, right here.
Can you kind of hold up?
Yeah.
So right to the left side of the shirt, looks like would be mid torso potentially?
Yes.
I'll show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 23. That's been marked as a full exhibit. Again, is this a T-shirt that was seized from the front yard of 43 Laurel Glen?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And again, was seized in the normal course of packaging, how you would package items of evidentiary value?
Yes, it was seized, photographed before it was seized and put in that bag, and then later at the police department, it was photographed again.
And when things go back to the police department, how are things secured? Does anybody have access to your evidence?
No, only the evidence officer. It would go from the seizing officer, detective, right to the evidence officer into evidence.
I'm going to show you State's 24. That's been marked as a full exhibit. Again, with these items that were seized from the area of the yard of 43 Laurel Glen.
Yes.
And were these seized, again, in the same manner in which the previous two exhibits that we just spoke about were seized by the Shelton Police Department?
Yes.
I'll show you State's 25. These items in State's 25, items that were also seized from the front yard of 43 Laurel Glen.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you State's 26. Does this appear to be the same sweatshirt and T-shirt, just maybe flipped over from State's 25?
Yes.
In State's 27, again, same T-shirt and sweatshirt.
Yes.
Now, I want to direct your attention to this area here where you see this, the individual who took the picture, I assume their hand is here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see whether or not there are defects in the clothing there?
Yes.
Okay. And again, that would be, for the record, I'm pointing to what appears to be a defect in a black shirt where the individual who has a black glove on's middle finger, just north of the middle finger there. And there's also a defect on the green fabric just north of the index finger of the person's gloved hand in the picture.
All right. Court will let the record reflect same.
State's 28. That would be a picture of the same black T-shirt that was in State's 27.
Yes.
And that's just an up-close picture of the defect in that T-shirt.
Yes.
In State's 29, again, up-close picture of the green sweatshirt that was in State's 26, I believe. Again, the defect in the shirt.
Yes.
Now, when you got to the scene, you said that you were there to investigate a stabbing that had occurred. What things did you do that night when you got there?
So that night, myself and other members of the Shelton Police Department interviewed witnesses, attendees of that party.
Now, when you interviewed these witnesses, let me take you back. When you got there, what was the scene like?
It was very hectic. There was dozens of kids running around, their parents showing up looking for them. Hard to keep everybody, kind of trying to keep them off the yard, trying to ascertain who saw what, who was at the party, if anyone arrived afterwards. So we did our best to try to speak with everybody there.
Did you have it, and you spoke to many witnesses there?
Yes.
And when you spoke to the witnesses there, did you have any indication that alcohol may have been present?
Yes, so there was a bottle, I believe it was a bottle of whiskey, if memory serves, in the yard. Also, upon speaking with a lot of the juveniles, it appeared they were drinking. I didn't field sobriety anybody, but I was more concentrated on the stabbing, but it appeared they were drinking.
And prior to you interviewing any witnesses at the scene, did the Shelton Police Department have a body-worn camera at that one time?
So this was right at the time, just before the body-worn cameras was mandated by the state, and they were just coming into our department. So even though we had them, they weren't issued to all the members of the department. They were equipped in a few cars, and a few of the administration had them, where we can use them if we needed an interview or something like that.
And did you, in fact, use any body-worn camera when you interviewed witnesses in connection to this case?
In this case, yes. That night, no. This, I didn't have one assigned to me at that point, so I would have to use only audio.
Okay. So how many interviews would you say that you conducted that night when you got to the scene?
Me personally, or all of us?
You personally first.
Me personally, that night, 2.
And collectively, how many of these interviews did you say you would?
Dozens. Me personally.
Okay. And based on your interviews of those witnesses, what, if anything, did you do next?
So I interviewed a witness at the scene. I believe his name was Enrico Fiola. After interviewing him and his mother, we ascertained that just prior to the incident, a Honda Pilot arrived on scene with a group of St. Joe's kids. Also, after the incident, they fled in that car. So we were able to get the occupants of that car. From that point, we went and interviewed Mackenzie Trefficante, who was also an occupant in the car. After members of the police department spoke with everybody else there, and I spoke with those 2 witnesses, we developed Raul Valle as a suspect.
And is Mr. Valle in court today?
He is.
And what is he wearing?
He's wearing a blue jacket.
And can you point him out for the court, please?
I can. He's sitting right there.
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant in this case?
Court will let the record reflect that the witnesses identified Mr. Raul Valle as the defendant. Thank you.
Now, based on your interviews and your development of suspect and identified a suspect vehicle, what efforts did you take at the scene prior to leaving the scene?
So before we left the scene, we knew that a knife was used in the stabbing. We did look for the knife on the exterior property of 43 Laurel Glen and the road and the surrounding roads. Very difficult that night. It was dark. There was a lot of people around, and we didn't have any information exactly where the knife was at that point. But we did look with our flashlights, with our car spotlights. That carried on into the next day. Moving fast forward, we had 2 state police cadaver dogs arrive in the daylight, and they searched the entire area, the surrounding streets, the property, with members of the police department looking for the knife.
And if I direct your attention to States 1, can you indicate on States 1 where the general area you conducted the initial search for the knife you just described?
Sure. So here's the property with the front yard. We started here, but we actually looked all up and down the roads. This entire area. We also did a neighborhood canvass and spoke to all the neighbors. 1, did you see a knife? And number 2, if you do find a knife, please not touch it and call us.
Okay. Now, Your Honor, if the record can reflect, the witness has indicated on States 1 the area including all of Adams Drive, all of Laurel Glen to Farmhouse Lane, and up Farmhouse Lane in that general area.
Any dispute with that summary, Attorney Smith?
No, Your Honor, no
All right,
objection.
court will allow the record to reflect. Thank you.
Now, after you did the initial search that night and the next day for a knife, what did you do next?
So after we did our interviews that night, the sun was coming up. I interviewed
You can have a seat.
Tom and Charlie Connery at their residence with their parents present. After that interview, we were able to develop probable cause for an arrest warrant for Raul Valle.
And was an arrest warrant applied for and signed?
It was applied for that following Monday.
And contemporaneous with the signing of the arrest warrant, were you able to locate the Honda Pilot that was the subject of your interviews?
So we were, so that night, if I can back up a few of the steps we took, after we knew who the occupants of the Pilot were, we went to Milford and we attempted to speak with Mr. Valle, but nobody was home, no one answered the door. So then we went to another occupant's residence, Tyler Da Silva. When we arrived there, we were unable to speak with him also. We reached out to the driver of the Pilot, Jack Schneider. We were unable to speak with him. So then we went back to Mr. Valle's house and still no answer. I obtained his cell phone number and I called him numerous times. I wasn't able to get a hold of him. So we moved on with the investigation. The next day, we sent Norwalk Police Department out to Jack Schneider's residence and asked if they can locate the car. When they arrived, it was there, so we requested that they tow it, and they towed it back to our secured sally port at the Shelton Police Department.
Your Honor, I have, I approached
Certainly.
states 30 through 33. I don't think there's an objection to them being marked as a full exhibit.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, you've had the opportunity to take a look at them, Attorney Smith?
I did, Your Honor.
All right, very good. So court will go ahead and allow in as full exhibits with no objection 30 through 33. On behalf of the state, are they properly marked as full? No ID, we'll just hand it back to Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Now, when you were able to secure the Honda Pilot that was the subject of the investigation, you said you secured it in the sally port?
Yes.
And do you know if pictures were taken?
Yes, well, we applied for a search warrant first, and it was granted. Then, once we executed that search warrant days later, we took photographs, the interior and exterior of the Pilot.
I'll show you State's Exhibit 30, that's been marked as a full exhibit. Do you recognize State's 30?
I do.
And what is State's 30?
That's the Honda Pilot.
And what is the purpose of taking pictures of the exterior and interior of a motor vehicle that's seized?
Well, to show the condition it was in when we seized it. And
Showing you State's 31. Again, what is State's 31?
that's a picture of the windshield of the Pilot?
Showing the defect in the windshield.
Yes.
State's 32. Picture of, what is this picture showing?
It's the interior of the Pilot.
What would be the purpose of showing, taking pictures of the interior of the pilot?
Well, the state of it was when we took it, and if we were going to seize any evidence, the state of the evidence it would be in.
This would have been taken prior to any seizure of any evidence?
Yes.
State's 33, this is obviously the driver's side again, picture of the driver's side of the pilot.
Yes.
Now, once you were able to seize the pilot and apply for a search warrant and execute a search warrant, you indicated prior in your testimony that you were able to secure an arrest warrant for the defendant.
Yes.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what steps that you took after that arrest warrant was signed, what steps you took to execute that warrant?
After we secured the arrest warrant, I believe it was the Tuesday of the 18th, we spent the day into the night searching for Mr. Valle. We were unable to locate him. We reached out to both his parents, but they were uncooperative in helping us locate him. It turned into the following day. We could not locate him until about 3 in the morning. He turned himself into the Shelton Police Department.
And when he turned himself into the Shelton Police Department, what was done as part of the booking process of the defendant?
Well, the standard booking process, and we took, the booking photos. But I believe it was Lieutenant McPadden who was on scene when he turned himself in. He took photos of Mr. Valle because he had some apparent injuries on him.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Court will let the record reflect that defense counsel was shown exhibits 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and 43, all of which are photographs, indicated no objection. And again, that's no objection to those exhibits coming in as full exhibits, counsel.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, court will receive into evidence 34 through 43 on behalf of the state. Thank you.
So you indicated that pictures of the defendant were taken some 72 hours after the incident when he turned himself in on May 18th?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 34 as a full exhibit. Do you recognize 34?
I do.
And what is 34?
That's a picture of Raul Valle at the time of booking.
On May 18th of 2022.
Yes.
States 35. Again, what does States 35 show?
A picture of Raul Valle on that date.
States 36.
Same. A little closer. You could see some marks up there near his forehead, light marks.
States 37.
That's the back of Raul Valle's head. Raul Valle's head.
Does there appear to be any injuries to the back of his head?
I can't see anything from here.
States 38. Showing you States 38. That's the back of his head again.
From here at this angle, I can't, maybe a little bit of redness under the hairline.
Okay. States 39.
That's Mr. Valle's right arm. There seems to be some light scratch marks.
States 40. Seems to be a older wound.
It does appear that that's his right hand. It appears that it looks like it's scabbed over a little bit.
States 41. Left hand.
That's his left hand, a scrape on his palm.
States 42. Any markings on his hand there?
Some light marks on his outer wrist. That's really all I can see there.
In States 43, again, this is his left hand. Any markings there?
I can't see any.
Now, once the defendant turned himself in on the 18th, pursuant to the arrest warrant that you had secured, did the investigation stop there?
No, no.
Can you please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what, if anything, you did after that point in time?
So myself and members of the Detective Bureau located every attendee to that party and the party that was connected to this at Lazy Brook, interviewed all of them, some of them multiple times. At this point, I did have a body-worn camera, so most of them were interviewed on video. Yeah, so we interviewed everybody there at that point just to strengthen the case.
And what, if anything, did you glean, not what people said, but what, if anything, did you glean from those interviews with regards to the connection to Lazy Brook Road and maybe the entire street of Laurel Glen?
Well, we learned that there was a fight that preceded this incident at Laurel Glen at 5 Lazy Brook that was predominantly a St. Joe's graduation party. A fight occurred there where members were attendees of that party got into the Honda Pilot and arrived at Laurel Glen. Well, there was 7 people in the car, including Mr. Valle. So during the investigation, we had a concurrent investigation into the Lazy Brook party. Yeah, so
Did you interview anybody from the Lazy Brook party?
yes, everybody.
And subject to that interview, were you able to secure any type of video evidence from that party?
Yes. After interviewing the attendees at that party, we secured a video of a fight that occurred in the garage of that party in the driveway, I believe from Isabel Molnar. That was seized and taken into evidence. Also, during the investigation, speaking of videos, we secured a video from the fight, or from the incident that occurred in the lawn at 43 Laurel Glen. That I believe we seized from Tanner Cherkowski. That was seized in evidence also. Speaking of videos, we were also able to secure videos on the street from Ring cameras and dashboard cams from the night of the incident at 43 Laurel Glen. Starting with Laurel Glen, there was a Ring camera right on the driveway above the garage that would have caught the entire incident. Unfortunately, it only captured live video, not recorded. With Ring, you have to pay a service, and if you don't, you can only watch it live. You can't retrieve it. We retrieved other Ring videos from the street, right across the street from Farmhouse, but they did not yield a lot of information. They weren't very helpful. We did obtain a video from 36 Laurel Glen.
Directing your attention to State's Exhibit 1, can you please tell us on State's Exhibit 1 where 36 Laurel Glen would be located?
36, I believe, is this one here. I believe it's that one there.
And why was 36 Laurel Glen important?
So during the investigation, we learned after the Lazy Brook party, or the Lazy Brook incident, the St. Joe's kids got into the Honda Pilot and they arrived at 43 Laurel Glen, and an incident occurred in the street, or an altercation. So the Honda Pilot drove off down the road in the area of 36 at the first incident, or the first altercation between the St. Joe's students and the Shelton High students. Upon securing that video from the homeowner, I believe his name was Ken Tuttle, we were able to find the Honda Pilot pulling up from the direction of Laurel Glen and stopping right in front of his house.
And if I may approach the witness, Your Honor.
Certainly.
Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 44 for identification purposes. You recognize State's 44?
Yes,
And what is State's 44?
that's a video of the 36 Laurel Glen Ring camera.
Is this the same videos that you seized from Ken Tuttle pursuant to this investigation?
I didn't personally, but yes, I've seen it before.
And are the videos on this, have you viewed this prior to today's testimony?
Yes, I have.
And do these videos contain two videos from different angles of what occurred just prior to and just after the incident that occurred at 43 Laurel Glen?
Yes, they do.
State would offer this as a full exhibit.
Attorney Smith, any
No
more?
objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so with no objection, court will go ahead and enter into evidence State's full, I believe you said 44?
40.
44, thank you.
You viewed this prior to today's testimony?
I have.
Can you briefly tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and I want to publish this with the permission of the court, but what we're about to watch, if you can.
So these are two angles of a rim camera, one from the door and one from another front of the house that shows directly into the street. When you watch it, you see from left to right, the Honda Pilot will pull up and stop directly in front of 36 Laurel Glen. A bunch of people get out. This first video is right around 11:40, so this is before the incident at 43 occurred. We asked the homeowner, Mr. Tuttle, if this video is in real time, and he said it was. The kids get out, and while they're standing out of the car, a bunch of people come running up from Laurel Glen. There's a interaction, an argument. You can hear people yelling, not exactly what they said. The Honda Pilot then drives away and comes back. And then there's a second video that occurred after the incident, because the timeline occurs from our 911 calls, and right when this was, it was right before midnight, where the Honda Pilot again comes from the same direction, 43 Laurel Glen, stops. Bunch of people get out, another car pulls up, and somebody gets out and jumps in another car, and they all flee.
With your permission, I'd like to publish to the jury.
All right, why don't you go ahead and publish State's 44?
This next video is this different angle of the same video,
It's the same video, just a different angle.
and there's no sound on this video?
I don't believe
Faint-
so.
Faint sound? Can you pause it? And those two videos that we just watched was around 11:40 PM on May 14th of 2022?
Yes,
So that would be shortly prior to the incident that occurred down the street of 43 Laurel Glen?
yes,
And the next two videos we're about to watch happened just after the
directly afterwards, yes.
And this last video is the different angle of the same.
I believe so.
Same footage. Again, the time on this is 11:55.
Yes. I believe our 911 call came in at about 23:58 or something close to there, so that would corroborate the time in the video.